Good morning all of you. In today's session, we will start the next unit, that is Unit 6. The title of this unit is Optical System Design. The title of the unit is Optical System Design. Okay. Here we will consider some important topics in designing the entire in establishing the entire optical communication system. The first one we already know that the optical communication system consists of some important blocks. One is information source. The second one is optical transmitter, optical fiber, optical receiver, and the user. Okay. The design of optical link also includes some interrelated variables such as optical fiber, optical source, and also photo detectors. Okay. So all these require several iterations before they are working satisfactorily. Okay. So as I said, the optical system design consists of some important considerations. Among them, the key system requirements are: the first one is desired transmission distance, that is the distance between the transmitter and the receiver. The second one is what is the amount of data rate, or what is the channel bandwidth, we are offering. The second one is the bit error rate generally calculated at the receiver. All these parameters we need to consider while analyzing or establishing a link. Okay. Among them, the first one is the major requirement to transfer the data from the source to the detector. Okay. The major requirement to transfer the data from the source to the detector are: the first one is optical source, the second one is fiber optic cable, the third one is detector or photodetector. Light source or optical source, the second one is fiber optic cable, the third one is optical detector. So these are the major requirements to transfer the data from the source to the receiver. Among this, if you see the light source, the selection of the light source also depends on certain factors. Okay. So the light source means it may be LED or it may be laser, whatever it may be. Okay. The optical source selection depends upon the certain factors. What are those? The first one is emission wavelength. The second one is output power produced by the optical source. The third one is number of emitting modes, and another one is radiating area, and the last one is stability and the lifetime. Okay, so what is the amount of output power produced by the optical source? It may be LED or laser. The second one is how many number of emitting modes are there. The next one is radiating area, or you can also consider the radius of the optical source. Okay. It depends on the radius of the optical source. Okay. And another one is lifetime, stability and lifetime. Lifetime means it is related to the reliability considerations. Means the lifetime depends upon how many number of times the optical source is being tested, how many number of methods the optical source lifetime is tested. Okay. So the lifetime depends upon those kind of factors. Okay. So overall, the selection of the optical source depends upon what? Depends upon the emission wavelength, depends upon the optical power, number of emitting modes, radiating area, and as well as stability and the lifetime. The next one is fiber optic cable. The fiber optic cable, the selection of fiber optic cable also depends upon certain factors. It may be multi-mode fiber or it may be single mode fiber, whatever it may be. It consists of certain fiber parameters. What are those? Size of the core, that is radius of the core. The second one is core refractive index profile. The next one is dispersion or bandwidth. Next one is attenuation. The next one is numerical aperture. Next one is numerical aperture. Okay. So what are the fiber parameters? Size of the core, refractive index of the core, bandwidth or dispersion. The next one is attenuation and numerical aperture. Of course, the dispersion and the attenuation also depends on few more parameters. For example, what are the parameters? Absorption. In the previous classes we have discussed absorption. Second one is, what is the second one? Scattering loss. Okay. Third one is, next one is bending loss. This absorption is further divided into, is maybe due to three types of reasons. What are those? One is atomic defects, absorption due to atomic defects, absorption due to intrinsic material, absorption due to extrinsic material, or intrinsic absorption or extrinsic absorption, whatever it may be. Okay, numerical aperture here is depending upon refractive index of the core, refractive index of the clad, okay, or you can say the relative refractive index, okay, between the core and clad, say delta. If you see, when we are selecting the optical fiber, we need to consider all these parameters: core size, core refractive index, clad refractive index, numerical aperture, dispersion, attenuation, and also absorption loss, scattering loss, bending loss. All these we have to reasons for all these losses we have to consider while selecting the fiber optic cable, maybe multi-mode or single mode fiber. The next one is a photodetector. Photodetector is the key element in the receivers. It is the first element in the receiver. Okay. So while selecting the photodetector, we need to consider few parameters. Okay. What are those? The first one is response time. Second one is efficiency. Third one is noise figure. What is response time? When the light is falling on the diode, how much time, okay, this diode is taking to produce the current? How much time this diode is taking to produce the current? Or I can say how much time it is taking, okay, diode is taking to produce electron hole pairs inside the semiconductor. Okay. How much time when the light is falling on it, when the light is falling on the photodetector, it may be pin photodetector or avalanche photodetector, whatever it may be. When the light is falling on it, how much time, okay, after how much time the current is produced. Okay, this generation of the current, varying current, depends upon the generation of the electron hole pairs. The number of electron hole pairs generated, okay, is nothing but quantum efficiency. It's nothing but quantum efficiency. The electron hole pairs is nothing but quantum efficiency. Are you able to understand this? And another one is noise figure. Okay, we already studied two types of detectors. One is pin detector, another one is avalanche photodetector. The noise generated in the pin detector is less, okay, compared to noise generated in the APD. Why the noise is generated actually? Okay, When the light falls on the photodiode, pin detector or APD, pin photodiode or avalanche photodiode, what is happening? Electron hole pairs are generating. We know that electron hole pairs are generated. The electrons, we already know that the whatever it may be, the pin diode or APD, they are operating in reverse bias. Okay, they are operating in reverse bias. When they are operating in reverse bias, when the when electrons and holes are generated, electrons will be moving towards the anode, holes will be moving towards the cathode. But few electrons will be moving in random direction. Few electrons will be moving in random direction. Those few electrons, okay, will leads to noise. Will leads to noise. Okay, in case of when we compare pin diode with avalanche photodiode, okay, this random motion of the electrons are very less in pin diode, whereas the random motion of electrons are more in APD. What is the reason? Because compared to pin diode, in avalanche photodiode, the reverse voltage applied is more. The reverse voltage applied is more in the avalanche photodiode. The random motion of electrons also will be more. Okay. So that is the reason we need to consider the noise figure also. Okay. So what are the factors we have to consider while selecting the photodetector? We need to consider the response time, emission response time. We need to consider the quantum efficiency. We need to consider the noise figure. We need to consider the noise figure. Okay. These three factors are very much important in selecting the good optical fiber. Okay. There are two types of analysis. Generally, there are two types of analysis to ensure the desired system performance of the receiver. Okay. Using two analysis, we can estimate the performance of the receiver. Okay, efficiently. The first one is a link power budget. The second one is a rise time budget. What are those? The first one is link power budget. The second one is rise time budget. Okay. So what is meant by link power budget? What is meant by link power budget? Link power budget determines whether the fiber optic link meets attenuation requirement or amplifiers need to boost the power level or not. What is that link power budget? It determines whether the fiber optic link meets the attenuation requirement or amplifiers are needed, whether amplifiers are needed or not to boost the power level. What is the reason? You go here. The link loss budget or link power budget consists of total optical power loss, say PT, that allowed between the light source and the detector. Okay, what is meant by total optical power loss? Okay, it is PS minus PR. What is PS? It is the PS means optical power emerging at the end of the fiber. What is PR? Receiver sensitivity. What is meant by PR? It is the receiver sensitivity. Okay, so it is nothing but 2LC plus alpha L plus system margin. What is meant by LC? Connector loss. Okay, what is meant by alpha? Fiber attenuation. What is meant by L? Transmission distance. What is meant by L? Transmission distance. So on all these factors, generally power loss is depending on. Okay, if you go back, okay, you can see here. Okay, this is the optical source. This is the optical source. We know light is falling on the optical fiber. Okay, if fiber fly lead is connected, this is the fiber fly lead. What is meant by fiber fly lead? Fiber fly lead is a connector connected between the is used to connect the optical source and the optical fiber. Okay, so this is the fiber fly lead. Okay, you can see here. You have used some splices here. This is the optical fiber. You have used some splices here. Okay, what is meant by splices? Splices means connectors. Okay. Okay, you have used connector. So, but here one connector, here one connector, here. So many connectors you have used to connect the optical fibers throughout the transmission distance. Okay. At the end, at the receiver, what you are doing? You are using another connector or another fly lead, fiber fly lead to connect the end of the optical fiber to the photo detector. If you observe here, every connector offers some loss. So many connectors you have used. So every connector offers some loss. Okay, and it is not we cannot neglect that. Okay, so that is the reason. If you go here, the link loss budget considers the total optical power loss, say PT, which is due to optical power emerging from the end of the end of the fiber, receiver sensitivity, connector loss, fiber attenuation, transmission distance. All these the parameters are considered, okay, as the reasons for the power loss in the optical communication system link. Okay, so that is the reason link power budget is used to estimate the total amount of power loss. Total amount of power loss due to several reasons. Okay. The next one is the rise time budget. Next one is rise time budget. The rise time budget analysis is the convenient method to determine the dispersion limitation of the optical fiber link. Or you can say the total system rise time is the square root of the sum of the squares of rise time from each contributor Ti to the pulse time degradation. Okay, so what is rise time here? It is the time taken for the total transmission from the end of the optical fiber, transmission end of the optical fiber to the receiving end of the optical fiber. You can consider it as you can represent it as a formula, that is total system rise time is the square root of sum of squares of the rise times from each contributor. Okay, each contributor means it may be fly lead, it may be optical source, it may be optical fiber connector, whatever it may be. Okay, so we are making the summation of, okay, square root of the sum of the squares of the rise times from each contributor, say Ta. So there are 4 elements that may reduce the system speed. Okay, so why the light from the transmitted from the transmitter is received with some delay at the receiver? There are few reasons. Okay, for what? For the reduction of the system speed. Okay, what are the reasons? Transmitter rise time is one factor. Group velocity dispersion is one factor. Okay, say GVD. Okay, TR, transmitter rise time. Next one is modal dispersion rise time. The next one is receiver rise time. Next one is receiver rise time. Okay, so at the transmitter the delay is considered, it is the next one is group velocity dispersion, means the velocity with which the modes are traveling inside the optical fiber. The variation in the velocity with which the modes are traveling in the optical fiber, that is are also considered modal dispersion rise time. Next one is receiver rise time, how much amount of time the receiver is taking to convert the light, okay, to light into the electric current, and later if it is digital signal transmission into bits after amplification. What is the total amount of time taken by the receiver? Okay, so all these has to be considered. Generally the system speed is reduced in these 4 factors, by these 4 factors. Okay, okay, so what we have learned today, we have started the unit 6. Okay, unit 6. Okay, unit 6 is the optical system design. Unit 6 is the optical system design. The point to point links depends upon so many factors. Point to point link means starting from the information source to the user. Okay, so key requirements needed in analyzing the link, what are those? The desired transmission distance, data rate or channel bandwidth, bit error rate. Okay, what are the major requirements to transfer the data from optical source to the detector? One requirement is optical source, second requirement is optical fiber cable, third requirement is the detector. What are the requirements selecting the optical source? Maybe LED or laser. What are the requirements? One is emission wavelength, output power, number of emitting modes, radiating area, stability and the lifetime. What are the parameters we have to consider in selecting the optical fiber. It may be multi-mode or single mode, core size, size of the core refractive index, bandwidth, attenuation, numerical aperture. What are the parameters we have to consider in selecting the optical detector? One is response time, emission response time. Second one, quantum efficiency. Third one, noise figure. The area, there are two analyses to ensure the desired system performance. Okay, one is link power budget. Second one is rise time budget. What is link power budget? Link power budget used to determine whether the fiber optic link meets the attenuation requirement or amplifiers are required to boost up the voltage level received at the end of the receiver. Okay, so for which what we are doing, we are calculating the power loss at each and every connector. Okay, what we are doing, we are calculating the total power loss in the link. How? By considering so many factors: power loss at the end of the fiber, receiver sensitivity, connector loss, fiber attenuation, transmission distance, etc. All these parameters are considered in calculating the link power budget. Next one, what is the rise time budget? Rise time budget is used to estimate the speed performance of the optical link. Okay, so if that is the case, what are the factors which reduce the system speed? The first one is transmitter rise time. The second one is group velocity dispersion. Second one is modal dispersion rise time. Next one is receiver rise time. Okay, so these are the topics we have covered today. In the next topic, okay, in the next class we will go with an interesting topic. Okay, thank you very much.